Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra. Well, RBI Governor Shakti Kanta Das in his latest policy announcements did speak about how the RBI is now proposing to link UPI payments with credit cards. Now, to understand what this move will mean for credit card users and the digital payment ecosystem at large, I'm joined by a very special guest today. Mr. Raj Khosla, founder and managing director at My Money Mantra, joins right. Welcome to Business Today TV, Mr. Khosla. Appreciate you joining in.
Thank you, Sakshi. Such a pleasure to be with you again.
The pleasure is all ours, sir. So let me begin by understanding from you, what are your first thoughts on this RBI announcement of the linking of credit cards with UPI? And what does it really mean for both credit card users as well as UPI users?
Okay. Well, first up, full marks to the RBI for always, thinking ahead, for innovating, for trying to introduce and to lift digital banking. They're always thinking like that, and as a regulator, they deserve full marks for towards that end. That's the first item. But now, with respect to the direct question, the Reserve Bank of India's proposition to introduce credit cards on the unified payment interface, which basically popularly known as UPI platform, is a great move really to encourage customers to transact via the UPI using their credit card, which until this will enable, introducing an element of credit, if you like, or to the UPI payments, as up until now, the payments were done from a customer's savings account, current account, which essentially involves leveraging the debit card. So credit card, it's a first, and obviously, which means that they're also able to leverage some amount of credit when they make these payments. It's not that they're making money and they're making payments, from money they already have.
Right.
So to begin with, RuPay-based credit cards will be enabled. Only RuPay-based credit cards will be enabled on the UPI platform. But
That's
the
right.
central bank may soon, and I think, has to integrate the MasterCard and Visa-powered credit cards on UPI for a market-wide adoption, as an overwhelming majority of credit cards in India are frankly on these other platforms. So yes, so we'll wait for the next steps, but for now it's only going to be RuPay-based credit cards.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting for all our viewers to really understand, Mr. Khosla, as to exactly how is this going to work. So for all those credit card users who had not onboarded the UPI platform thus far, what are they in for? What will they need to do now, and how will this entire process work?
Well, it's a pretty comprehensive question, obviously, and a long answer to that one. So you're going to have to bear with me. Basically, this move will benefit the customers, as going ahead, customers can avail extended credit via their credit cards to make payments instead of using the money, which they already had in their bank accounts, like I mentioned earlier. Now, the introduction of credit cards is likely to unravel a number of opportunities. You see, as of now, customers have to mandatorily carry a physical credit card or a digital version of it for near-field communication, which is NFC payments on POS machines. A credit card on UPI will eliminate this need. Moreover, paying via credit cards is also beneficial, as you're entitled to receive rewards, discounts, vouchers, cashbacks, and other deals that are valuable in their own, way, as compared to what is being offered on a debit card. Debit card usage, is not really as well rewarded. Now, so following the introduction of credit cards on UPI, from a convenience point of view, people will simply be required to pay by scanning the QR codes or by inputting UPI IDs for settling a transaction. So with the volume of transactions on UPI, it is likely to capture the market in the years to come, positioning itself as the best payment system. But honestly, UPI, is the only payment system as we talk right now. But UPI-based payments are low cost compared to accepting transactions via the traditional mediums, that is swipe machines for accepting credit card transactions. So technically, no machine is really required, since the QR code is a transaction identifier that is a transaction. Hence, dependency on the POS machines is significantly reduced, resulting in savings for, with respect to the setup cost and also for operational expenses relating to these machines.
Correct. So
Also,
very, I would say convenience is going to increase for all those credit card users. You don't need to carry, in case you forget your wallet, you can still carry on with that UPI transaction. And in case you don't
absolutely.
have to delay your purchase, in case you really feel the urge of buying something which is heavy ticket buy, and you've forgotten your credit card, you can still go ahead and make that. So that's a big positive right there.
Yeah.
Also wanted to understand from you, Mr. Khosla, for those looking to onboard the UPI platform with this news now, what are the key factors that they must consider before doing the UPI payments? Are there any terms and conditions that one must be aware of?
So you see, this is a much longer question, but a very short answer here. Because it's only currently they're only available on the RuPay platform. And the RuPay platform, is only maybe less than 5% of the entire market.
Yes.
So that it's a tiny portion of the market which is being addressed, but it's a giant step in the right direction. With respect to any terms and conditions, quite honestly, it's really early days, and the regulator will have to make some more announcements to clarify the terms, conditions, and also the people who operate this entire ecosystem will also come up with something or the other, but that is still, WIP as we speak.
Okay, understood that. Also, help me understand, like you were talking about, so many merchants will be coming on board as well. How will this UPI credit card linking really benefit those merchants who have about 6 crore merchants have already onboarded on this platform? So help us understand that.
You see, as far as MDR is concerned, that is something between as for the merchants onboarding is concerned. The ease of spending brought about by the UPI might encourage customers to spend more, but their credit scores, I think you were going to ask me that, are entirely dependent on the ability to make prepayments of the credit card companies on time. But with respect to the MDR that you're talking about, as far as conditions with respect to expenses are concerned, I think that the merchant will have to go with the point of sales machine as well, in addition to making arrangements for catering to these RuPay-based credit card payments. Because you will not be able to stick with only one system. What might eventually happen is that on his existing machine, he may be able to enable that for QR functioning. And the biggest thing, the elephant in the room as far as the merchants is concerned, is that their discount, it's a zero cost. It's a zero cost transaction for the merchant. It's a zero cost transaction for the customer.
Correct.
So on both sides, it's a win-win as we talk. But let's see, how this progresses. But it's a good news for the merchant as well. And I'm sure that if I was a merchant, I would like to push as many transactions as I could, on this platform, because essentially I don't have to pay any charges to any other platform. It's a zero-based.
Okay, so zero cost transactions, definitely a big positive right there. Hopefully more clarity will come from the regulator on that front as well. But also for credit card users, I wanted to understand one more point. So is there also any impact of these UPI transactions on the credit scores as well? Now, once the people will start using these credit cards on the UPI platform, what really happens there? Because most of the credit card users are always worried about to maintain a certain credit score to be eligible for certain future loans. So how will that function?
You see, credit score, they should be they should be concerned about the credit score, because yes, it does impact, how much the quantum of credit you can access in the future, and the cost thereof. Whatever interest you are charged, obviously, good quality customers always get a break on the interest. As far as this system is concerned per se, it doesn't really impact the credit score. Credit score really is impacted by your ability to settle your accounts, in time with the bank. So the only thing is, I'm taking a word from what you said, ma'am. You said the urge to spend and to complete a transaction. It's this urge that they need to control, and they should only spend as much as they are hoping to being able to repay on time. So if they overspend, yes, the credit score will get impacted, but you shouldn't blame the RuPay or the UPI system for that. You should blame yourself. So there's nothing.
Okay. Okay, understood that. Also, Mr. Khosla, one last question to you on this entire, announcement. Of course, it's good news for the credit card users. You did say for the UPI platform also, it could widen the reach of the UPI platform and more digitization. For the entire digital payment ecosystem, what does this news really mean? What kind of an impact can it happen? Can it push government's aim towards a cashless economy also going forward?
Yes, a cashless economy, is always something that the government is always pushing for, and I think that this is like I said earlier, this is certainly a step in the right direction, and you'll find the ecosystem reacting very favorably, to all of this. But as of now, we must be, from a customer's point of view, must be clear that RuPay-based credit cards will be introduced. So they're only on the UPI platform, and RBI still has to confirm, some. How it will function, and most importantly, how will they integrate the Visa and the MasterCard platforms, on this, for this entire ecosystem. So it's going to be a while before, quite a bit of this happens. But with respect to the digitization, ma'am, which you were referring to, UPI, quite honestly, is the most preferred transaction channel among all other digital mediums for payments, which can be seen by the huge numbers, in May 22, as of last month, the 594 crore transactions amounting to 10.4 lakh crores were processed via the UPI.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a big step, as you were talking about digitization. I think this is a step in the right direction. So we are doing absolutely fine.
Okay, so step in the right direction. Thank you very much, Mr. Khosla, for helping all our viewers really understand what to make of these new announcements by the RBI governor on this front. Big positive for the credit card users, for the UPI users as well, and for the digital ecosystem at large. We are in the right direction, but we'll wait and watch for some more clarity on the charges front as far as the regulator is concerned, and a sooner transition from the RuPay credit cards to also the other credit cards getting on board onto the UPI platform. We'll wait for that announcements to also come so that a larger portion of the population can get benefited with this step. Thanks a lot for speaking to us and giving us all those clarity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share, and subscribe.